So if you look back long enough at this channel, I've talked about Tesla products many times before, and I've had a lot of good things to say about Teslas. I called the Tesla Model S the best daily driver in the world. And in general, I feel like Tesla's been ahead of the curve for EVs for a long time. But competition has come a long way, and I think a lot of people would agree that the competition in many ways has caught up to Tesla. But the thing about testing one and actually driving a Tesla for a while, you start to remember all of the ways that Tesla is still ahead of the competition. And so that's what this video is about. I finally got my hands on the Tesla Model Y Performance, and driving it has reminded me of the things that Tesla is still the best at. But like usual, let's start with the basics. This is the Tesla Model Y Refresh. It's their fully electric midsize SUV, dual motor, all-wheel drive, and this is the performance version, so I'll point out the things that are specific to the performance one when we get to them, but that does mean you're looking at about 460 horsepower here, 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds, and with these 21-inch wheels, gets about 305 miles of range. And I've been driving it around in this really poppy ultra red color, which I know I have a soft spot for red cars, but I think this looks pretty sharp. You might agree with me. Red with the black 21-inch wheels and the white interior. You've probably already seen a bunch of Tesla Model Y refreshes out there, but this big light bar at the front is a big part of it. So ambient lighting here, or DRL here at the front, but then the actual headlights are down here. It's got a little bit of functional air venting, which you can see through. And since this is the performance one, this little underbite it's got going on, this little bit of an extra front lip is a little more prominent. It has a frunk, of course, and then you get over to the side, and Model Y still looks like Model Y. 21-inch wheels, though, make it a little sportier looking, and I think the 21-inch turbines are nice. You can see the white interior that we'll get to in a second, black trim, black door handles, and then you get to the back. Now, this is one of them sleek, sloping roof lines that you see in some stuff in this category, which means it doesn't have the most second row headroom, but still looks pretty sporty, obviously. Then you get to the back, and you've seen the Refresh Model Y probably already by now, but just weighing in here, I think this is the best looking back of any Tesla ever, with the sort of squared up lines here, and then the big taillight bar, which you've probably seen at night on the road by now. It looks really good. And of course, that's how you know you're looking at the performance version right there. Kind of looks similar to the old Plaid and Ludicrous mode stuff for the past, but they like that aesthetic. But then also this big carbon fiber spoiler, which has a little bit of shape to it. Then you get in the back, and pretty classic Tesla minimalism here with the cover, this really big sub trunk, which they've done for so many of these generations of cars, which lets you throw some groceries down there without them sliding around. And I must mention, power sliding, folding second row seats. So if this is going to be the most popular vehicle in the world and a practical family sedan, well, it should have folding seats that you can conveniently access with that button right there. So that's really nice. Power folding liftgate right there. Yeah, I think the back of this thing, they've pretty much nailed. And if you want to know where the charging port is, it's back left like every other Tesla with the NACS port with their super fast charging curve. But none of that is the extreme stuff. I think a lot of others have caught up to Tesla on aesthetics and build quality. Actually, they've been ahead of Tesla on build quality, but the stuff I want to talk about here is the stuff that Tesla is still really good at. Because you guys already know about Model Ys. These things have been on the road forever. You've seen 1,000 of them probably today already. And this Refresh Model Y isn't even particularly new. It's the performance trim, this one, that's new. So shout out to George from JNS Auto House, you've probably seen his YouTube channel, for letting me borrow this car from him to review. Last time I borrowed a car from him when the company wouldn't talk to me was the Fisker Ocean, by the way. Fun fact. Anyway, first thing Tesla does that others haven't caught up to yet is this display. Now, I'll talk software in a second, but I literally just mean this physical display is awesome. It's a 16-inch touchscreen. It is really high resolution, really bright, thin bezels, looks basically like a computer or an iPad. Lots of others put nice, large displays in their cars. Cadillac will do like this whole huge, like center 40-inch touchscreen, whatever you want to call it. And a lot of them look really cool, but they also have like big piano black bezels. A lot of them aren't as high resolution or as bright. This, to me, is the gold standard, just as far as physical displays in cars. It's ironic because they don't have any other displays in the car, no HUD, no behind the steering wheel, but this is still top notch. Now, second is, this is very specific. This is the best software in a car that is not Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. So, obviously people love Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. I'm one of those people. I've grown to just throw that on almost by default in every car I review and test. But in case you don't, or if you don't care about that sort of thing, which is a few people, or if you're just interested in good software, Tesla does it right. Like this, first of all, is the most responsive. It's the smoothest. This is a real-time representation of your car. So if I were to open this door right here, see how that opens in real time? I close it. I think if I even put the window down, you can see that going down. So all of the software experience here, from all of the settings and how intuitive things are, all of the things you want to go and jump into and find are super fast. Their software is second to none still. And I know a lot of that is kind of useless to people who are like, just give me Android Auto, just give me Apple CarPlay. But I must at least point that out. That's really good. Now, I drive these cars around and I do wish that there were more physical controls. Tesla is the lowest amount of buttons in any car that you'll ever see. So if you look around this cabin, you know, it's got this nice carbon fiber trim and this little contrast stitching here with the white and this gray on the black. This is all like a nice place to sit, but there's no buttons anywhere, no HVAC controls, no volume, no nothing. The only buttons are the steering wheel, and I think technically this hazard button, which is not even really a button. It really contributes to the way these things end up feeling, which is just basically like an appliance. Like the emotion and the fun of a lot of other cars is virtually absent here. This is a pure, efficient machine with no buttons and no unnecessary stuff in it. Like, it's got a little bit of character. You see these seats? This is a nice seat. It's got a little bit of bolstering for the performance seats, and it's got this little Spaceballs trim Easter egg that they like putting in these performance cars, so that's cool. But yeah, it's very sparse in here. But then you get to driving the thing, and that brings me to another thing that I immediately noticed, which is, and it's specific, but Tesla's regenerative braking is A+. It's the best. It's the best anyone's ever done. The liftoff regen, it was one of those early things that Tesla committed to that others didn't necessarily pick up right away. Like cars like the Porsche Taycan would not liftoff regen. You have to put your foot on the brake, then it would start regen braking and then blending it with friction braking. But I took my foot off the brake in this car with the standard regen braking, and it was very smooth, very predictable, and then the very end was a nice soft roll-off, like a limo stop. It was incredible. It's really, really good. So Tesla's regen braking is also surprisingly still the best I've ever tried. So then one more thing in the technology department, Tesla has a bunch of cameras all over this car, which of course contribute to the self-driving. It is also, like I've said, the best self-driving in any car I've ever tried. I have a whole separate video doing a tier list of all the different self-driving systems I've gotten to try, so we'll link it below, watch that. But it also means that all of the blinker cams and all of the reverse cams, yeah, I know I'm not in gear, sorry, but they're the best still as well. Super high resolution, super smooth, and lots of dynamic range, and just really good to look at. So if I were to, I guess, take the key out of my pocket, which is just a card, and put it there, and throw it in reverse, which I wish was a button, you get this huge display, this massive rear camera. This stuff is awesome. I like the tech in the Teslas. That's not a shocker either, but it's just kind of surprising how few of them have gotten. I think maybe Rivian is the only other one with cameras that I've seen this good in a vehicle that you can look at for blinkers or reversing. Now I'll pop out to the rear seat just so you guys can see it. You've probably seen a Model Y rear seat before. Should I be worried about this? Oops, it's probably fine. So if you've ridden in the back of one of these, because they're Ubers a lot, then this is the experience you're used to. And I do have a couple of notes here. So number one, it is a glass roof all the way back, and that's better for headroom than if it wasn't a glass roof. So that's nice. Two, I must say, and this is the thing you immediately notice when you start driving a refreshed Model Y, is the suspension is way better. It's way less crashy, it's way smoother, and it's quieter on the inside. So that's nice for those of you who ride in the back of these things as Ubers all the time like I do. It'll be way less nauseating and way less uncomfortable, way less crashy. This is a better passenger experience than the previous one, so that's really cool. Also, it's got this display in the back, Oh, of course it turned off because it thinks I'm not in the car anymore. Okay, back to the front seat because we got to talk about one more thing for the Model Y performance, and that's just the performance part. So the last thing that Tesla sort of commoditized with a lot of their cars is just straight line speed. Okay, so this being the Model Y performance, like I showed you guys, there's the little slightly bigger front bumper and a tiny spoiler on the back, and it's got sport wheels and this nice design in the seats. But when it comes to actually performance driving, there's no track mode in here. And actually, okay, one more thing, just a note for Tesla. You can change like these settings individually and then also change regen and then also change ride and handling. I would love like a single button to change all of the settings to be sporty versus all of the settings to be soft. Like just give me a button on the steering wheel so I can just switch to sport everything. Anyway, this performance driving aspect of a Tesla is very much just more power. It's just faster. So the brakes are not dramatically different, if at all. The suspension is not dramatically different, if at all. It's just ridiculously quick. I mentioned it earlier, but when you put your foot down, you get almost 500 horsepower. It will do 0 to 60 in like 3.3 seconds, which is silly fast. And that's crazy. Like you might have watched the video I just recently did on the Toyota RAV4 GR Sport. Sorry, I'm distracted. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they're doing it, but they're doing a lot over there. The Toyota GR Sport RAV4 was sportier than a regular RAV4. It had a custom tuned suspension. It had a different steering weight and a couple other aesthetic trim pieces, a little spoiler on the back. And it was a 5.6 second 0 to 60. Very cool, but not this. I mean, this is, for 60 grand, 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds is crazy. And Tesla does this across their whole, basically every category. It's like the Model S Plaid did this for under 100 grand, or I guess way under 100 grand now. You get 1,000 horsepower and like a ridiculous 0 to 60 in a mid-9s quarter mile. Tesla commoditized speed a long time ago, so that's not new, but it's just, when you start testing these things, it reminds you of just how different Teslas are in that way. But yeah, that's really it. That's the theme of like what it was like for me to get back into a Tesla after a couple of months. There's all sorts of little things that Tesla's improved. Their build quality is better. NVH is better. Suspension, like I said, especially with this refresh Model Y, and like I said with the Model 3, is better. Design is solid. I think a lot of others have great design too, with the bars and all the fun stuff that they do with craftsmanship and trim. And I prefer many other interiors now at this point to Tesla's, but like I said, it's really hard to escape the stuff that they still do super well. The best self-driving, the best screen, the best regen braking. What else did I say? The best software experience, how smooth and responsive and intuitive it is, how many options they've added, and all the things you can do with the dash cam. And it's just, they do some stuff really well. So there you have it. That's been my impressions testing the brand new Model Y performance. I'm gonna give it back to George now because it's his car. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.